There are warnings of a possible serious escalation between NATO and Russia after an aerial confrontation over the Baltic Sea and accusations Russia violated NATO's airspace. The confrontation came when NATO member Estonia attempted to intercept an unflagged oil tanker which had been sanctioned as part of Moscow's so-called shadow fleet. Russia sent a fighter jet to deter the interception, which Estonia says crossed into its airspace for around a minute. Russia says its ships have free passage in the Baltic and says it's ready to respond to any attempt to stop them. Europe correspondent Catherine Diss reports.
Well, tensions have been rising in the Baltic Sea for many months now, with several critical underwater sea cables either cut or damaged. NATO has suggested that Russia is behind those acts, which it has described as sabotage. Now, an oil tanker bound for Russia called the Jaguar has got caught up in an incident with the Estonian Navy. Britain placed that vessel under sanction last week, and Estonia tried to detain it earlier this week, accusing it of sailing illegally without a flag. But when it tried to board the vessel, it says the crew didn't cooperate, and then a Russian fighter jet was sent in. Estonian authorities said that it violated NATO airspace for close to a minute. It was then escorted back to Russian waters by the Estonian Navy. Now, this is being seen as a major escalation in tensions between NATO countries and Russia, which is the only country bordering the Baltic Sea without membership of the alliance.
Russian Federation sent a fighter jet to check the situation, and this fighter jet violated the NATO territory close to 1 minute. This is something very new. So we need to understand that Russia has officially tied and connected itself to Russian shadow fleet, and also the NATO fighter stood up and went to inspect and check the Russian fighter.
We face threats. Those threats we have jointly agreed it's Russia as the most significant and direct threat to the Allies' security, Euro-Atlantic security, and terrorism as the most significant asymmetric threat, so non-state threat to our citizens.
NATO says that this ship is one of more than 100 of Russia's so-called shadow fleet, which is a term used by Western countries to describe vessels that Moscow uses to avoid sanctions that those countries imposed after its invasion of Ukraine.